The following is a story from Irish mythology. It is taken from the great epic on Táin of Cooley, the Cattle Raid of Cooley, and this is a translation by Thomas Kinsella. How Cú Chulainn got his name. It happened that Cullen the smith was getting ready to entertain Conchobhar. He asked him not to bring too great a company, for he had no land or property to provide the feast, only what he earned by his tongues and his two hands. So Conchobhar set out with only 50 chariots full of the highest and mightiest of his champions to accompany him. First he visited the playing field. It was his habit always, going and coming, to greet the boys and have their blessing. So it was that he saw Cú Chulainn playing ball against 3 times 50 boys and beating them. When they played shoot the goal, it was Cú Chulainn who filled the hole with his shots, and they were helpless against him. And when it was their turn to shoot at the hole altogether, he turned them aside single-handed and not one ball got in. When it was time to wrestle, he overthrew by himself the whole 350s of them, and there wasn't room around him for the number needed to throw him. When they played the stripping game, he stripped them all stark naked. They couldn't even pluck the brooch from his cloak. Conchobhar was amazed at this. He asked, would there be the same difference in their deeds when they came to manhood? They all said there would. Conchobhar said to Cú Chulainn, "Come with me," he said. "You will be a guest at this feast we are going to." "I haven't had my fill of play yet, friend Conchobhar," the boy said. "I'll follow you." Later, when they arrived at the feast, Cullen said to Conchobhar, "Is there anybody still to come after you?" "No," Conchobhar said, forgetting the arrangement that his foster son was to follow them. "I have a savage hound," Cullen said. 3 chains are needed to hold him, with 3 men on each chain. "Let him loose," he ordered. "Guard our cattle and other stock. Shut the gate of the enclosure." Soon the boy arrived, and the hound started out for him, but he still attended to his game. He tossed his ball up and threw his hurling stick after it and struck it. The length of his stroke never varied. Then he would cast his javelin after both and catch it before it fell. His game never faltered, though the hound was tearing towards him. Conchobhar and his people were in such anguish at this that they couldn't steer. They were sure they couldn't reach him alive, even if the enclosure gate were open. The hound sprang. Cú Chulainn tossed the ball aside and the stick with it and tackled the hound with his 2 hands. He clutched the hound's throat apple in one hand and grasped its back with the other. He smashed it against the nearest pillar, and its limbs leaped from their sockets. According to another version of the story, he threw his ball into its mouth and so tore its entrails out. Then the Ulstermen rose up to meet him, some of them over the rampart, others through the gate of the enclosure. They carried him to Conchobhar's bosom. They gave a great cry of triumph that the son of the king's sister had escaped death. Cullen stood in his house. "You are welcome, boy, for your mother's heart's sake, but for my own part, I did badly to give this feast. My life is a waste and my household like a desert with the loss of my hound. He guarded my life and my honour. A valued servant, my hound, taken from me. He was shield and shelter for our goods and herds. He guarded all our beasts, at home or out in the field." "That doesn't matter," the boy said. "I'll rear you a pup from the same pack. Until that hound grows up to do his work, I will be your hound, and guard yourself and your beasts, and I will guard my him the plain. No herd or flock will leave my care unknown to me. Cú Chulainn shall be your name, the Hound of Cullen," Chochad the Druid said. "I like that for a name," Cú Chulainn said. "What wonder that the man who did this at the end of his 6th year should do a great deed at the present time when he is full 17, Conall Cearnach said.